Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video, we are going to be fighting Vermivorous the Invincible with Zane, and I'm going to show you guys the build I'm using, as well as a boss fight at the end of this video to show you guys that this build can kill Vermi in a very fashionable time. Now, this is just the very first build I've ever fought Vermivorous with. This probably isn't necessarily the best Zane build, but you can kill Vermi with this build in under 5 minutes, under 3 minutes even. You guys will see at the end of the video. And with that being said, let's get straight into it. Alrighty, so with the intro out of the way and stuff like that, let's just go ahead and talk about the build I am using. So I decided to use the clone because he gives Zane a buttload of extra damage in his gear and setup, and it's just really easy to put your clone out with the gun that you want. In this case, we'll be using a Sandhawk mainly, and then just wreck face. Now, I also shoot myself, and I'm also doing a ton of damage using Zane himself. This isn't just a clone build. This is also a Zane build. As you can see, we've gone all the way down in the blue tree. So with that being said, let me take off my class mod so I can show you guys the exact spec, and then we can talk about the gear I'm using. So first things first, we got all the way down to double barrel. It kind of doesn't matter what you take along the way. These are the skills that I recommend: Premunitus, Borrowed Time, Duct Tape Mod, Donnybrook, Quick Breather, Old U, 1 point into Pocket Full of Grenades, all the points into Supersonic Man, Boom Enhance, and then Double Barrel. Now, one thing you might notice is I'm not using Fractal Frags, and that's mainly because when the clone is throwing grenades, he's not shooting his guns. So I just decided not to put a point into this skill, but you can stick a point into the skill if you like your clone throwing grenades. Now, when it comes to the augments, the only one I really recommend is Doppelbanger. The other one is completely up to you. But this lets you take down your clone and reposition him anytime you need. And otherwise, yeah, let's go ahead and go into the blue tree. So for the blue tree, I stuck 5 points into Cold Bore, 5 into Violent Momentum, 5 into Violent Speed, and then just kind of filled the tree the rest of the way down to the capstone. It's really important to get the capstone and see in red. That's going to give Zane all the damage that he needs to be able to fight the raid boss as well. And make sure you stick at least 1 point into Good Misfortune. And otherwise, just stick some points into Playing Dirty and Cool Hand. This will give you better reload speed and double projectiles on some of the launchers that we're using that are really important for this build. With that being said, let me go ahead and stick my CN Dead class mod back on. Oh, actually, I forgot about the purple tree. We actually did use some points in the purple tree. We wanted to get to Fugitive, and we also wanted to use the Mantis Shoulder Cannon. This will give us access to Action Skill End, and then Fugitive will let us run and gun with Violent Momentum. Now, you did notice I still went with Commitment, even though they did nerf it in the last hotfix. The cooldown, when your clone happens to kill himself on accident, or when he happens to die, is pretty nice, and it's a good quality of life that you can use for this build if you want. Otherwise, if you don't care about the cooldown, Headsman's Hand is a much better skill and will give you tons of damage onto Zane himself. But since this build is a little bit more focused around the clone, I went ahead and went with Commitment for that cooldown rate. Now for the gear, the first thing I use is the CN Dead class mod. I'm pretty sure you could probably get away with using a Spy class mod just fine. And you notice that my CN Dead doesn't have any crazy bonuses. Mine does have splash damage on it. I don't actually know where Vermi's crit spot is. So it does also have crit damage, but I think it's just like on his back where normal Varkids are. And yeah, when it comes to the artifact, you just need any Snowdrift with AoE damage on it. It's really important that you get these splash and AoE bonuses, because not only do these boost Zane's damage, but they actually also boost Zane's clone damage. And there's a really cool trick I'm going to tell you guys about that you might not know about, but you probably do because I made videos about it before. With giving the clone your action skill and splash anointment. I'll explain how that works, by the way. When it comes to the shield, you can really use whatever you want. I just have on the 0 M with action skill start. Once again, the circle, if you put your clone inside of the circle and you stand inside of the circle, you can boost your clone twice. So yeah, you heard it right. If you stand in the circle and the clone stands in the circle, you boost him twice. But you'll notice during the boss fight, I don't even pay attention to this. You can really use whatever shield you want on this build. I just like this one. And when it comes to the grenade, it doesn't matter at all. Like I said, we're not even using any grenade skills. So just get one with action skill and fire. That's what we want, action skill and fire. Now, when it comes to the weapon, this is the bread and butter of this build. We are using Sandhawks and Plague Bearers. Now, this boss fight, he has a big armor bar, and then he's fire the rest of the way. So what I do is I give my clone a Sandhawk. This is one of the best weapons, if not the best weapon on the clone. Number one, because he does not generally kill himself with it. He pretty much fires it nonstop. He shoots it really well. He's really good with dull weapons in general. And then on top of that, the Sandhawk is actually a splash weapon that benefits from splash damage. So once I give my clone a Sandhawk, I hold a Plague Bearer and I activate the 200 splash with my Mantis every 10 seconds or whatever. And then we just go to town. And that is pretty much the build. I also have a Tizzy with Digiclone ammo regen on me just for fun. And yeah, let's go kill the boss and show you guys we can do it in just a couple minutes. So by the way, I already opened the door. You know, it would have been cooler if I saved that for the YouTube video, opening the door to the boss fight. But I accidentally already opened it, so yeah, sucks for you guys. I've heard a light show works well with Clone 2. I prefer the Sandhawk because the light show does not do splash damage. Yes, the light show is great on the clone, but you're not going to be maxing out your clone's damage. So here's the mysterious looking Varkid egg. And yeah, I'm going to throw my clone out. So first you actually have to level up hemivorous. I was calling it Vermi. Little spoiler, but Vermi is actually in this boss fight too. And if you guys made it to this far of the video, you know, you were gonna watch the boss fight anyway. But it's actually really cool because you do have to level this guy up. He can be a little bit annoying while he's flying around, but it's nothing that the clone can't handle. So we're just gonna let him do that while I wipe my glasses off. And yeah. So we just gotta level him up before we actually get to the boss fight. Yo, I got you all out, Warlock. So wait, let me activate my Splash Anointment. Sometimes this thing can be annoying for the clone to take out for whatever reason. I don't know why, but he's better against the raid boss than actual flying Varkids that are just annoying.
I live for this!
There we go, and then after this is done, he's gonna actually turn into Hemivorous now. So you don't want to use too many rockets until he actually changes, because then you're just gonna be out. There it is, oh, well there's Vermi. And Hemivorous is here somewhere too. So basically, what you're gonna do now is just run and gun with the Plague Bearer. You can actually slide while charging it with the Fugitive skill, which is very cool. Now, keep in mind, like I said, you can give the clone your Splash Anointment, but you have to actually be holding your Splash Anointment. The clone's gun doesn't actually have any anointments on it. So keep that in mind, you have to activate your own Splash Anointment. Your clone gets your Splash bonuses. He doesn't get any anointments himself. Let's go ahead and just slide and shoot this thing. And you can see we're chunking him. He is a tanky raid boss. And this is the first ever build I tried when killing this raid boss. Another thing I should mention is, realistically, I probably should have given the clone a corrosive Sandhawk and then blow him up and reset him with a fire Sandhawk. But I kind of just don't care. We're just winging it, you know? We're not being super tryhards. Alright, there we go. We got through his armor phase, and now the clone will start to just shred him. Or, well, here, let's shoot some corrosive at Vermi. There we go. And you see I activate my Mantis like every 10 seconds or so to get that Splash Anointment back up.
Trigger finger's getting tired over here.
Let's get some rocket ammo. No rockets? Alright, and that's when we pull out the ammo regen Tizzy and start firing it off. So keep in mind, like I said, when it comes to that Splash Anointment, since I pulled out my Tizzy with a non-Splash Anointment, the clone is not getting that damage anymore. But I don't want to just stand here and watch the clone. I want to shoot too. And there is hemivorous the invincible. Dead and gone.
This'll be
Let's go ahead and finish off Vermi. Yeah, once you get rid of their armor, they kind of go down pretty quickly to the Digiclone. Here, let me activate my splash anointment for the clone. I'll take him out. And there you have it. That is a 5-minute raid boss fight. Now, like I said, I'm sure this can be done quicker. I'm sure this is not the best Zane build ever for this, but this was my first go, and I can farm a raid boss in 5 minutes or less every single time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 3 videos. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.